wall, and um, just drunk driving and probably hanging out with unfavorable people, So just growing up and remembering the things that I saw growing up, it might be normal to me, but other people would be like, that's no environment for a kid, like me hanging out with my mother's friends while they're playing poker and bridge and, that kind of, like drinking beer, like Hell's Angels, basically, like a bunch of white and, native, yeah. So anyways, it was just...
It's different, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I don't know where my sister is to this day. And honestly, being oh, thank you. After my mother died, oh, thank you, Highness. That's so sweet. After my mother died, he's white and fled to Korea. Yeah, he is. He's a English teacher.
Yeah, they can teach in Korea. They can teach English in Korea. I know about that. Yeah, so that's true.
And it hits close to home because that's my sister. Yeah. And my mother ended up killing herself because of it.
Damn. That's deep. There's a lot going on over there. How old were you when she killed herself?
I was 12, and then I got thrown into foster care. Oh, thank you. I got thrown into foster care, and I ended up getting molested by my foster father for 4 years.
Did you turn him in?
I did, and we went to court.
Did he get arrested, or did they believe? What happened with him?
The judge told me in court, when he was making his decision at the end of the trial, at the end of the preliminary trial, at the end of the trial, the judge looked me in my face and said, "I know something happened to you, but the prosecution just basically fell short. It's a hard case it's a hard crime to prove when there's not a lot of witnesses, and
it's just your word against his."
Right, and he did confess, which is basically like what gave us enough evidence to go to court. But he confessed to my therapist, who he had actually set me up with. She's like the best in the Fraser Valley. So it's interesting how he set me up with her when I was 12 years old because my mother committed suicide and I needed a good therapist. And then I actually ended up confiding in her when I was 10 years old that, this guy did this to me for so long, and she brought him into the office and he confessed to her, but because it was, confessed in, he got a really good defense lawyer, and they created enough doubt. That's all they got to create is enough reasonable doubt. They basically tore my therapist apart and said, because she didn't know that that confession was going to be used later on down the road. Right? Otherwise, she would have asked different questions, or she would have gone about it differently. She would have turned it over immediately, or what have you. But it was confidential at that time, So it was just very complicated, and he ended up getting away with it. So.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is the lawyer ended up having a heart attack on a bridge not far from where I live, and he died alone. And
that's crazy too.
Just imagine defending a child molester. Your whole life, you're defending rapists, child molesters, drug addicts, drug dealers. You're defending all these people, and he ended up dying of a heart attack on a bridge alone somewhere. So, like you said, yeah, God works in mysterious ways. Like, oh, hey, David. Hey, David. But anyways, thank you guys for all the love. And yes, I don't like to call myself a survivor, even though, I've overcome a lot of things. I like to call myself a thriver because, every day I challenge myself to be a little bit better. Like, I've overcome that stuff. Thank you guys. Thank you, Dolly. Like, I've overcome, like, my mother died over 20 years ago. Like, she died in 2001. It's now 2022. That was 21 years ago. My sister disappeared in 1989. That's over 3 years ago, or 32 years, so I want to say time heals everything, but it doesn't. I still miss my mother to this day. Did they find my sister? No, No, that's why I can relate to Mocha. That's why I love Mocha so much, because her being adopted and me being orphaned at the age of like 11, right? When my mother died, I didn't have a father. I didn't know who my father was at the time. How am I supposed to go look for her, Dolly? If the police, it's still an open investigation. It's not. It's a cold case, but it's not.
It never closes. Yeah, it
it's
never
not
closes.
closed. There's a number that you can call right now, and in fact, there's about 2 people every year that get missed. I had somebody contacting my Facebook telling me that they're my sister. It was crazy. Like, yeah, there's people that actually do think that they're my sister. About 2 people a year come forward and think that they're my missing sister.
Do y'all take a DNA test?
Every time they do it, and every time they're excluded.
Okay, the DNA test don't match.
Right. I don't know, but you know what I was saying about Mocha. Thank you, Highness. I love you, Highness. I thought Highness hated me. I have so much love and respect for her. I don't know why. I just love her so much. But yeah, I've been through so much. And hey, Rena. Thank you, girl. Hey, wordplay. Basically, I've been through so much, and seeing everything that Mocha's been through, like her being adopted and me being orphaned at a young age and not being adopted, like I had to grow up as a child of the government. You know what I mean? Like I didn't. Yeah, and that's not a fun feeling when you don't have people. Thank you, Cameron. It's not fun when you don't, nobody sends you Christmas cards to say Merry Christmas. Nobody calls you on your birthday to say Happy Birthday. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, if you get sick, you don't have anybody that can take care of you. If I need money for a car or anything, there's nobody I can call. If I have to, you know what I mean? Like, if I need money for, like, one of the reasons why I hate to mention Barry's name so much, but I mean, look at Barry. His parents paid for the townhouse that he lives in. I mean, it's just one of the reasons why I hate him. Because I don't have that. I wish I had parents buying me my fucking townhouse. Give me a fucking down payment. I'm jealous. I still love Barry, but it's just like he's never had to go through what I go through. And so for him to say like, oh, you're sad, you're this, you're that, I'm like, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. You wouldn't last a day in my shoes, so... Anyways, yeah, it's all good. I don't hate Barry. I wish that he wouldn't like put me down, because I'm like, you would never be able to do what I do, so anyways, I don't mean to like put him down in saying like that he could never. I'm just saying like I've been through a lot, and so I would appreciate credit where credit is due. That's all. So for you to put me down, even if it's low key, you're still being sus, and I don't like that sus like mentality. I want to be able to trust you. I want to know that you have my back. I want to know that you're building me up, that you care for me, that you're like team Jack, but instead you're just like, you're toxic, you're sad, you're and it's just like you. I'm getting a lot of yous. And it's just like, I feel like I'm under attack. It's like, pew, pew, pew. Every time it's a you, it's like a pew, pew, pew. And I'm just like, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, I get defensive. I'm like, you don't even know me. You don't even know what I've been through. You don't even know what I've overcome. You don't know the positive shit. You have no idea. So, it's just, I get defensive. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Barry can come in forms of there's many different Barrys in the world. Many different naysayers, many different people who look down on me, who frown upon me, who say, you're not good. You're not, you know what I mean? Like a lot of naysayers. Yeah. Yes, see, Highness knows. Like when you're pointing your finger, there's always 3 pointing back. Yeah. Don't listen to the haters. Yeah. Anyways, you guys are getting me all worked up. Holy moly. Kramer, why don't you talk? I feel like I'm talking to a psych doctor.
She just wanted to let you talk and listen to you, and I guess you have some good stories to offer. So we want to listen to your stories.
I love you, Cremo. And I noticed that another thing about you, Cremo, is like you got a good heart. I wish I know I can't say I know or understand why you took the cup out of your name, but I'm not mad at you. And I just know that like I consider you a very valuable part of Unity. Oh, thank you, darling.
With the women, I had no problem with the women. The women were all nice in here. It was the guys that was arguing so much that was like I just didn't feel like arguing with guys every day. Because and you know what, the women in Unity are great. It was like dudes was following you around and watching you, and then coming back reporting back to Mocha like they were minions. And I was like, what the fuck? And so that's what it was. It wasn't Plato or G or none of them. It was dudes. Like I would come back over here, and it was a fucking guy like, "Hey, Mocha, guess what Cremo did today?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" And it was a guy. So and it was always a guy, and I was not used to that. So I was like, you know what? I'd rather not. I'd rather not have a guy follow me around to come back and report what I did. I was telling the guys like, "Hey, man, I just wasn't raised like that to argue with a guy." So because I go around the app all day, but I couldn't tell you what a guy did because the way I live, I wasn't raised to follow a man. So, and I was trying to tell these guys, like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but they was like, I was watching Cremo, and I'm like, dude, that's weird. Watching me, and then they'd be like, hey, he was in such and such, and I'm like, yeah, I go.
Yeah. There are people like that on this app, though. I get people who come into my live streams who don't really fuck with me. They're only there so they can report back to somebody else.
Yeah, that's what they do. And I was like, I'm not used to it. Yeah. But the crazy thing is, women, it's not women.
Right.
It was only guys. And I was like, hold on, guys. But the crazy thing is, the women, they don't really care, but the dudes can't wait to wake up and go tattletale. So that's why I took the cup out my name. It wasn't because I don't like her. It was just like, I just was tired of guys coming lurking